Viewing the Flintstones through adult eyes reveals a complex world with a lot of dark or problematic moments. You wouldn't notice them if you're a kid, but if you're a grown-up, you yabba-dabba-doo. While The Flintstones is clearly a riff on the groundbreaking sitcom The Honeymooners, it does make a few notable changes. The Flintstones is a bit more of an equal opportunity offender when it comes to domestic abuse. Ralph Cramden threatened to beat his wife so often that his verbal promise of violence became a TV catchphrase.
Bang, zoom!
Audiences never actually saw Ralph get physical with his wife, but viewers of The Flintstones saw it work the other way around. Fred often threatened Wilma, but that's where it stopped. However, when Fred did something Wilma didn't like, which was often, she'd clock him on the head, drop heavy objects on his feet, fling him across the room, and who knows what else.
Wilma, no, not in the head!
That on your
Of course, Fred wasn't the easiest caveman to live with. He had serious anger management issues, he constantly twisted the truth, and his views on the role of women in society really did belong in the Stone Age.
How many times have I told you a woman's place is in the home?
For a show that took place millions of years ago, The Flintstones is surprisingly progressive about a number of issues. In the 1960s, it was revolutionary that the series was open about how Barney and Betty Rubble couldn't naturally conceive a child like the Flintstones and how upset they were about it. It was a major TV event in February 1963 when Wilma gave birth to Pebbles, and afterwards, the Rubbles spent an inordinate amount of time hanging out with the new arrival. They just want a baby so bad. As a last resort, they make a wish on a falling star. The next morning, their wish has apparently been granted, and they find a baby boy at their doorstep, a supernaturally strong orphan named Bam Bam.
Whee! Oh, Barney, we've got our very own baby!
However, the couple still had a long way to go before they could call Bam Bam their own. Adult viewers will certainly feel some empathy, as the Rubbles jump through legal hoops to adopt the little powerhouse and are only granted custody at the last minute. The whole ordeal mentally drains Barney to the point where he wants to take his own life.
Goodbye, cruel royal.
Luckily, Fred shows up just in time to save the day and Bam Bam's new daddy. The Flintstones wouldn't be the Flintstones without animals, birds, and other creatures performing all kinds of household and mechanical tasks. The modern Stone Age family seems to have an animal for every job. A mastodon instead of a shower, a monkey-bird tag team inside a record player, a swordfish for a kitchen knife, and an artistic bird that functions as a prehistoric Polaroid camera, just to name a few. You have to wonder what these animals actually think of Fred.
The guy's a pig, a Neanderthal.
You're dead to me, can opener!
It doesn't seem like the animals on the Flintstones are getting paid or have any freedom whatsoever. In other words, the humans of the Flintstones have enslaved animals, forcing all creatures great and small into being beasts of burden. While this is cruel, some animals have it worse than others. Birds' tails are constantly being yanked. A pelican serves as a trash can, meaning people force-feed it garbage. And possibly worst of all, a variety of poor creatures are forced to sacrifice their entire lives for construction and mining.
I've had just about enough of these lazy f***s using us as slave labor.
The uprising is upon us!
Like most sitcoms of the 1960s, The Flintstones was not serialized. Each episode completely stood on its own, with Fred, Wilma, Barney, and Betty getting into some kind of hairy situation and resolving it by the end of the episode. Kids can accept this. They can enjoy shows on a surface level. Adults may want to know more about developments in the Flintstones universe, such as what happens after the events in the episode Dino and Juliet. In this comic version of Romeo and Juliet, Fred Flintstone and a new neighbor get into a heated dispute. Instead of the warring factions' teenage offspring falling in love, their pet dinosaurs do. Dino falls instantly head over heels for Juliet, the cute new sauropod in town.
Well, if that don't beat the bush, Dino's in love!
As lovers are wont to do, Dino and Juliet steal away for some privacy, which results in the birth of more than a dozen babies. Never again on the Flintstones are Juliet or her children with Dino seen. Apparently, he's an absentee father and the love him and leave him type. After a few years on the air, sitcoms tend to bring in a new character to breathe fresh life into the series. Homeless teen Luke showed up on Growing Pains, Cousin Oliver appeared on The Brady Bunch, and The Simpsons mocked the entire concept with a random character named Roy.
Adding a new character is often a desperate attempt to boost low ratings.
Yo, how's it hanging, everybody?
Morning, Roy.
The Flintstones pioneered this move back in 1965 with the arrival of a tiny, smug alien named the Great Gazoo. The little green ET had been sent through space and time to prehistoric Earth as punishment for making a doomsday device on his home planet. Gazoo has clearly seen his share of dark places.
Get off me, you big llama! Gazoo, where have you been?
Fred and Barney discover him, and rather than report him to the government, they befriend him. Although Gazoo mainly seems to call them dum-dums and magically disappear whenever Fred is talking to him, which gives the impression that Fred has mental issues. Or maybe the Great Gazoo isn't real at all, and Fred and Barney have been ingesting some unknown substances with mysterious side effects. Yes, The Flintstones is a cartoon, and it passed strict network standards in the conservative early 1960s, but somehow it managed to sneak in the occasional dirty joke for the adults in the room. In one episode, Fred and Barney are watching TV when they lose reception. Fred asks if everything is in working order, and Barney immediately hits Fred with a comeback that would make most parents blush in front of their kids.
How's your antenna? Fine, Fred, how's yours?
It would also seem they had adult films way back in the Stone Age. While Fred's getting a checkup, a doctor holds up Fred's X-ray, prompting Flintstone to joke, "How about it, Doc? Flintstone in an X-rated picture." While these man cave jokes were right up Fred and Barney's alley, we can't help but wonder how Wilma and Betty would react.
Bang!
Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.